And get this going here. All right, can you guys see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
All right, so how have we been doing so far on skills 1, 2, and 3? Do you guys remember what they were?
What?
Do you remember what skills 1, 2, and 3 were? Are you guys practicing?
Inviting prospects. Hold on. Ah.
What's next? Come on, you guys.
Inviting.
What was skill number 1? Judy, I know you know.
Finding prospects is skill number 1.
What's skill number 2?
Inviting prospects.
Pardon me, what's inviting them? Finding and then inviting, and then what?
Presenting your product.
Presenting your product. Very good. Okay, so how has that been going for you guys so far?
Good.
It makes things so much easier when you have that system to follow.
Absolutely. So once we presented, and remember last week we talked about what really is the presentation is what? It's your
Story.
Your story, that's right. So you could be anywhere, right? You could tell your story, and you could be at the gym, you could be at coffee with somebody, you could be talking to them about coming to an event and sharing your story around that. So the most important skill is sharing your story when it comes to presentation. So let's say that you got them some information and they want to check it out, and now it's time to follow up. Probably the scariest thing to do, I think, is for people to follow up, okay? But you've got to remember the fortune is in the follow-up, okay? So you'll hear that every single person that has ever been anywhere near success in this industry, you'll hear them say that. And a lot of people think, well, you know, they'll say, just let me know. That is not following up, okay? So if you read your book, you'll know that following up is doing what you said you do. And so remember, our whole purpose here is to be professional and not be pushy, okay? So if you are not setting up an appointment for a specific time and you're saying, hey, just let me know, you know, here's some info, let me know, it's kind of not very professional. I mean, you're the one that's supposed to be the guru here, right? You're the one that said you would facilitate and get the information for them, and people don't just let them know, right? I mean, it's just not what we do. And so we want to be led and guided, because typically if somebody gave me information, I usually don't even really know what to ask. So I look forward to having somebody check back on me and, you know, answer my questions, okay? So number one thing, if I could tell you guys how I went fast in this business, took me 2 years to get to National Marketing Director. I was busy, okay? I was so busy. My husband and I own lots of other businesses, and I had 2 small kids. They were 6 and 9 at the time. I was super active with their school. I was the party mom. I drove every field trip, and I also was training for long distance bike rides. I was on my bike at least 20 miles, if not more, almost every day. So I had to run my business by appointment. So I would get people information. I would have my calendar with me and say, you know what, I know you're gonna have some questions. I'd love to make sure I can answer those and help you get started if that's what you want to do. You know, I can chat tomorrow. Gosh, I have 10 or at 4, which is better for you. And then I would give them a call, okay? So that's the other piece, is you've got to have a good calendaring system. If there was one thing that I could say consistently overall that holds people back in this business, that they can do everything right, and then they'll come to me and say, I've been doing this. I'm like, gosh, that looks good. This looks good. You sound great. You know, everything you're saying is perfect. And they're still stuck. I can guarantee you it's because their calendar is a mess. They don't have it with them. They might have 4 calendars. They've got the home calendar, the one in their purse, the one on their phone, the one on their computer. And so I don't care what calendar you have, but have one that works for you. And if it's a paper calendar and it can fit, you know, ladies, if it can fit in your purse, great, because you want to have it with you, because how in the heck are you going to be able to set up an appointment if you don't have the tool to do that, right? So you know when you could actually be accountable to what you said, right? So for me, I'm an electronic person, and we're a Mac family now, so I love that I put it in my phone, it's on my computer automatically, it's on my iPad and everywhere. If you're not an electronic person, you don't have to be, okay? You just need to get a good system that works for you, okay? You want to remember that we want to respect their time, but more importantly, you want to respect your own time. People will respect you if you value your own time. Because if you don't respect your own time, how on earth can you possibly really be there when you said you're going to be there? How are you not going to be stressed? And you're going to forget appointments and things like that. So you want to put in those big rocks into your calendar first so that you can book around things that are really important. Okay, does that make sense? Everybody say yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So following up is really a series of exposures. The only reason to have an exposure is to set up the next one. So what that means is that if you're talking to somebody and you're still in that process of, are they trying to decide about Juice Plus, you do not leave them without saying, gosh, you know what? Love to hear what you think. Do you think you can look at that, today or tomorrow? You're setting up that next appointment to talk to them, okay? So again, don't ask what you think. Set up an appointment for that next exposure. And remember that, our job is to really just give them educational opportunities so that they can make an informed decision. Our job is not to be a salesperson, okay? So here's the other thing. Just because somebody's not ready, don't be offended. Some people have never heard about Juice Plus, and the average in the industry is 4 to 6 exposures until people make a decision, okay? So it's okay, but it's even better if you can condense those exposures by calendaring that next time you're going to talk to them. So I'll give you an example. I just started at a new gym, went to Pilates, and my Pilates instructor was asking me about what I did. Okay, so I told her. She said, gosh, that sounds interesting. And so I asked her if she'd be, if I gave you some information or sent you a mobile business card, would you take the time, the 5 minutes to watch a video? And she said, absolutely. So went in, I said, I'll talk to you when I come back in. So I did what I said I was going to do, came in early. I brought her a shake, and I brought her in some bars and some other shakes she could make at home, and gave her some more information that she could look at about the Transform 30 program. And now I have an appointment with her to see what she thinks about that, and if she likes the other shakes on Wednesday. So I have a reason to talk to her again. Does that make sense? So, it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to call somebody if I have an appointment, because they know why I'm calling, right? So the chances are they're going to do what they said they're going to do. They're going to look at the information. Most of the time they will. And then I don't have to be weird and go, well, I'm going to see them at the gym, or I'm going to do this. It's like, no, you know what? Hey, I'm going to call you at 10, see what you think, and answer any questions you've got. And so when I call, I don't have to say, oh, how was your dinner? How was soccer? How was this? How was that? And I can say, gosh, I'm calling it, like at 10, did you get a chance to review that information? So I can get right to that point, which if that's kind of my work hours, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not saying that you don't want to catch up with your friend, but maybe you do that after, or maybe say, hey, gosh, I'd love to hear how, the soccer game was. I've got some other calls I've got to make. Are you going to be around at 4? How about if I give you a call then and we can catch up? Okay. So it's a lot more comfortable for them and for you. They know why you're calling already anyway. And so if you're beating around the bush or whatever, they're going to feel funny. You're going to feel funny, versus if you have the appointment, you have a reason to call. You're not going to even have any nervousness at all to call and see if you can assist them. Okay. So after exposure number 1, which is the invitation to take some action, remember you set that appointment, you gave them an action item. So maybe it was listening to a DVD, you're sending them a video link. Maybe they're going to your website. Maybe they're trying the product. Whatever it may be, okay? Maybe they're coming to an event, okay? And then you can just ask, hey, did you get a chance to review the information? And they're going to give you one of 2 answers, yes or no, okay? Like I said, it's usually yes, okay? But if they say no and they didn't get a chance to review the information, the number one thing you don't want to do is get irritated, okay? You just say, hey, no problem. When do you think you can see it for sure? And one of the things I picked up from Eric Worre is that he always says for sure, instead of just for sure, just because he says it works. And I do see how that works, but it's also a little bit more friendly. Hey, when do you think you could see it? For sure, for sure. Set that new appointment. Okay. So you're just setting another appointment. Okay. If they're vague for some reason, you know, you're kind of getting that weird energy, which doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it does. Here's the thing. You want to say something like, listen, you know, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. Just give me a time when you can for sure see the information, whatever works for you. Okay. If they're still vague after that, okay, maybe you don't want to make assumptions because maybe they were vague because they were embarrassed that they didn't watch it and they said they would, okay, but maybe they're not sure or, you know, they don't really want to do it. You just need to clear that up, okay? So look, either you're going to see it or not. If not, just say, no, it can be done, no problem. You know, when do you think you could see it? For sure, for sure. So don't be afraid to kind of go, look, are you interested in watching it or not, basically? Because who do you want to talk to? People that are interested, right? So we're not here to coerce anybody. We're not here to talk anybody into anything. We're here to help them have some education and let them decide for themselves. But we also, you know, we don't want to be put in a position where we're trying to guess and sell and all that, okay? So you just need to find out, gosh, you know, either you're going to see it or not. You know, if not, just say no. No problem. Reset that appointment. You guys are hearing appointment a lot, aren't you? Okay, questions and objections. And this was something I loved in this chapter. You know, one of the things you want to ask is, did it make sense? You know, what do you like best? If you're going to have an objection, it's going to come up right here. And you're going to they'll either say what it is, you know, it seems expensive or whatever. And I'm going to go through some of the business ones, or they're going to get vague or whatever. Okay, so you're going to get that here. What you don't want to do is react offensively or defensively, okay? And what that means is that you don't want to come back at them with something that is a bunch of facts and, what do you mean? It's, you know, are you really eating 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables? Or, I mean, you don't want to kind of come back at them here with that, right? You want to act as a consultant and guide them. You want to help them get the result. So remember that goal is education and understanding, not just to get them, okay, not getting them. So the best approach is to relate to them. So what if they say, well, I don't know, you know, I already take I take a vitamin, I take Centrum vitamins or whatever, right? You want to use feel, felt, found. Have you ever heard of feel, felt, found? Okay.
Yes.
And it's, you know, again, you want to think about coming alongside somebody. You know, you want to buddy up with them shoulder to shoulder. You know, I understand how you feel. You know, when I was first looking at this, I kind of felt like I was doing an okay job with my vitamin too. But what I found was that because this is fruits and vegetables, and I knew I wasn't eating really the amount that we needed, it was a really easy way for me to get this into my meal. Okay, I can use that for anything. If you guys want to throw something at me, I'll do it. What's an objection you get?
Expensive.
It's expensive. You know, I can understand, you know, I understand how you feel, because when I first saw Juice Plus, I kind of thought it might be expensive too. You know, and I felt like maybe it would cut into our family's budget. But what I found was that because it's fruits and vegetables, and I knew I wasn't eating it and I knew I should, it was really the most affordable way for me to be able to get all of these 30 to 50 different fruits and vegetables in my body every day. And the fact that my kids can get it for free, I mean, for $2.50 for both of us to get that, I just found that it didn't go very far in the grocery store. So, you know, I found a way that I could find the money and I could afford it. Is that something? Yeah. Is that something that you would, you know, be able to afford if you knew you were getting fruits and vegetables as well? Something like that. Okay.
I had somebody tell me, you know, thank you so much for all of the information. I'd spent probably back and forth, I don't know, over a month at a time, you know, and then I got you know, I thought I was interested, but I'm finding I'm just not interested. I mean,
well, may I ask why? I mean, you got to know what the objection is. That's a vague
yeah.
response.
I know, and I didn't get an answer, so that was kind of a bummer.
Did you ask that? May I ask why?
Yeah, I asked that.
And what did they say?
No, as I said, I didn't get an answer back. She emailed me and said, I had called her to set up, we had set up an appointment. I had called and then it didn't work out. And then I was like, time went. I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to leave you, in the, out. If you're still interested, just, kind of let me know where you are because I don't want to bother you. But at the same time, I don't want to, leave your questions unanswered. And this is on the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we set a point. And then the email I got back was, because at one point she was even thinking her sister was interested. And then I just got I thought I was interested, but yeah, now I'm not.
May I ask why? And you have to.
I did, but I just didn't get a response back. Okay, well then I responded right. So
yeah, may I ask why? And just say, gosh, that makes me really sad. And ask, why did you find something negative or did somebody say something?
yeah,
because what I found is there was a lot of bad information going around, and I kind of felt a little hesitant at first as well. But what I found was the further I really looked into the real research, that it was really great. And I thought you said that you wanted to whatever it was, right? Is that still the case? So just ask a question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I was on the right direction.
It's okay. And some people, you know what, you can't help everybody, you guys. It's okay. Here's the thing. You want to welcome objections because it really does help you to find out what they really need so that you can help them. Okay. So if they don't, not everybody's going to say, oh, that sounds so great. I mean, some people do, but most people have some concerns about their health, or they've had a bad experience maybe with something else, or maybe vitamins make them sick to their stomach and they think it's a vitamin. So you really want to find out what are their concerns. And that's really all an objection is a concern. Okay. So here's some of the business objections that we get sometimes, and these fall into two categories. One is the prospect has a limiting belief in their abilities, okay? Or two, the prospect has a limiting belief in network marketing. And they kind of all fall into one of those two things. If they don't have enough money, that would be their abilities. I don't know if I have enough time to do this or share this. None of my friends would be interested. That's number one. All those are number one. Is this one of those things? That's network marketing. I've done things before and they didn't work out. That's network marketing. Okay. So when I was listening to a video by Eric Worre, and he said, the funny thing about people that have done lots of network marketing that say they're never going to do it again, that just means they are going to do it again because they already caught the bug, but they maybe had a bad experience. Okay. And that was the case for me. I had 7 other things that I had signed up for. Most of them were just to get a discount, but had a bad experience in one. And I thought, gosh, I'm never going to do that again. And here I am, a national marketing director in the 7th one. So you just never know. Okay. If the prospect has a limiting belief in their abilities, you want to tell a story, yours or someone else's, and ask a question. So here was one, like, I don't have the money. We don't get that too much because it's $50 and people get that back on their own order anyway. But if they said that, you could just say something and you guys can read this. I understand, I get it. It's a struggle to take care of the bills these days. When I looked at this, I wasn't sure I could either. But you know what? This is what I realized, that if I didn't change, nothing in my life was going to change. If I didn't do something, I was going to be looking at the same thing in 5 years from now. I needed to do something. And I realized it really wasn't about the money. It was about whether I wanted a better future or not. So I decided I wanted a better future. And you know what I did? I found a way to come up with the money. Let me ask you a question. If you looked at this and really looked at your options and decided that you wanted a better future, could you find the extra $50 or find the money? Okay. So you want it to be your story, but you can see kind of the format of handling that, right? So you tell a story, ask a question. So all objections, it doesn't matter whether it's product or business, tell a story or ask a question. And then the feel, felt, found, I know exactly how you feel. I get it. So you want to relate with them. What I realized was, and tell me, is that really something that you want to do is improve your health? Or is that really something you want to do is to, when you said that you wanted to be able to take your kids to Disneyland, is that something you really want to do or something, right? So maybe it's somebody had a bad experience in another company. Gosh, you've got a story. Tell me what happened. Did you have did you get involved in a company that went out of business, or did you get in with a group of people? Or tell me what happened. So, sometimes you have them telling you their story. you relate with them, and then ask them a question. If they have a limiting belief in network marketing, they may have psychic damage. That's what he calls it. I call that a bad experience before. Sometimes they're curious. Like some people, I had some guy who was at my house this weekend, and he was asking if he could also maybe make some money with Choose Plus. And I said, sure. So he was curious, right? And he said, well, is this like one of those pyramid things? So he's had probably a bad experience before, right? And I said, if you're open, I'd love to be able to share with you more about our marketing plan. But tell me, what else have you done? And are you looking for a way to earn some extra income? So, we were able to chat with him, ask him a question, and now we have an appointment to chat with him and his wife later this week. So, if they ask with emotion, sometimes people will go, is this one of those things? You can already just tell that they had a bad experience somewhere. So that's when you want to say, hey, you know what? What happened? What have you done before? Obviously, you have an experience with this, right? If they ask without emotion, maybe they're just asking because they want to know. It's okay. So you can always say, hey, you've got a story I can tell. Tell me what happened. So you don't want to get flustered with it. It's okay. And again, we're here to guide people, and we know what we know, and we know that what we have is so beautiful and so easy for people to do that we don't have all the games that come with some of those other companies. If you've ever been in a few, you know what I mean. We don't have quotas. We don't have territories. We can have as many people frontline as we want. We can talk to anybody we want. So we know what we have. So our goal is just to educate them and help them to understand that. So all handled the same. Story question. Is this MLM? Is this one of those things? Is it a pyramid? Is it legal? I'm not interested in MLM. I don't want to bother my friends. How much money are you making? Has anybody had that one come up? This one used to really bother me. I wanted to spend a little moment on this one because, first of all, the thing you have to remember is that, like I'm looking at Jamie. Jamie came from corporate world where she made a great income, right, Jamie? Yeah, so probably I'm guessing that you've had some of your corporate people ask you a question. How much are you making? Yeah? Yeah, so sometimes that's hard to answer because you may have started your business and you may only be making a couple $100s a month, or maybe you just got started, okay? You've got to remember that you are building a business. This is not a job, getting a salary, and a lot of people think in the form of salary, okay? So you can say, you know what? I just got started, but I'm right on track for reaching the upper levels of the income plan. And at our national marketing director level, we average a 6-figure income, and we have a full corporate benefit package. And I'm right on track to hit that, but my business is really growing right now. Tell me, are you looking for a way to expand your income? Would you like to have more time on your hands and be able to work from home? So you can see the story, the question. Okay, so before they leave, just a little recap, on follow-up. The most important thing is to do what? Is schedule that next event, that next contact, whether that's a phone call with them, to review the materials with them, maybe it's to get together with them with their spouse, maybe it's to have a call the next day, maybe it's to have them try the product and talk by phone, maybe it's set up an appointment to go to coffee, go through the compensation plan. You guys get it, right? Okay, and so forth. And then at that event, you're going to schedule the next event. We're not leaving that person without the next appointment. And the one after that, you're going to schedule the next one, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so here's the thing. If you don't schedule that next event, you'll be chasing. And I know we've all done this. And here's the thing. They're going to run. When you chase, the natural instinct is to run. So you want to be professional instead. If you never want to have to chase people and they want your time, because your time is valuable, you'll set the appointment, okay? That's how we're professionals. Can you imagine if the doctor said, I don't know, let me know when you want to come in, and just, that doesn't really, they would never do that, right? You need to schedule an appointment. They're professionals too. Okay, so this week, get a calendar system that's with you, and you need to put your big rocks in. So what I mean by that is kids' birthdays, date nights with your husband, your church events, your school events, all those things that are non-negotiables. so that when you book an appointment, you're not booking over something that you would have to miss or that you can't do the call, okay? You want to practice skills 1 through 4, which is finding prospects, inviting prospects, presenting, and then following up, okay? Try to talk to 2 people each day. And so here's the thing, with social media, that's pretty easy to do, is to open some doors, right? And set up a follow-up appointment. You could do it in person, maybe when you're dropping your kids off at school. Maybe you're in the carpool. I did a lot of business in the carpool lane at school. Maybe it's setting up a time to go meet up with a girlfriend for coffee, or maybe it's a golf date or whatever, okay? Bike ride. And then for next week, you want to read skill number 5 in chapter 8 of GoPro. And this is where we're going to be helping our prospects become customers or distributors. So making that final decision, really. So that's all I've got for you guys. I'd love to, anybody that wants to get off can get off. I'm going to go ahead and see, what time are we at here?
7:30.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop the recording. Hold on one second. And anybody that has any questions or needs help, you guys are welcome to